We're live. It worked. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just stupid or something, but we have trouble with this sometimes. All right, guys. So I hope I didn't annoy you guys too much by scheduling about 4 different streams, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah. So finally, we're getting tired of the winter here, and we're going to head to Death Valley. We're going to spend a couple of months, and Sharon and I are heading up there, and we're going to explore some mines up in Nevada, Death Valley, and New Mexico, maybe. I don't know. Not really sure where. They head up into that area there. So, um, yeah. So it's gonna be a little while till you see anything from Death Valley. We've got what we're gonna do is going down to Reno, and then we're gonna try to hook up with some other YouTubers and stuff down there. Maybe Jeff Williams, and he's in Vegas, so we see if we can do something with him, and we'll hook up with Gly. We'll see him at some point. We'll be down there for a couple of months. So um, yeah, so we're not really sure where we're going yet. So, like I said, we'll start at Reno, and then we're kind of gonna head down into Death Valley. It's kind of warmer there. So we've got the side by side in our camper and stuff. So we're just gonna be boondocking it there and checking that stuff out. So I hope you guys. Apparently, you can hear me. So we can ask you some questions or whatever. There you go. Well, what about the name Death Valley makes you want to go there? It's not really the name, but well, at this time of year it's fairly warm down there. So there's lots of places in America and up here. There's lots of mines, but if it's covered in several feet of snow, it's very difficult to find the mines and to get into them. So in the southern areas where there's not much for snow and stuff, it's a lot easier getting into mines, and it's always nice to be warm. A little bit of sun and some oranges and grapefruits don't hurt you either. So, yeah. So this is my cool one of my Christmas presents. Sharon give me that. It's got a flag. We're gonna put that up at the mine when we get up there. We'll have it on the flagpole up there. Yeah. Cerro Gordo. No, I don't think we're going to Cerro Gordo. I mean, there's nothing really much to see there. There's been a million people there, and it's not really a ghost town at all. It's a bed and breakfast. So there's been I know a whole bunch of people have been there. There's just basically one mine there. So we think we'll just be heading to, we going other places. You can't get up into Cerro Gordo either. So the road's not good there. So there's no place to stay up there. Yeah, no, there's lots more interesting places in Death Valley than the Cerro Gordo. It's, that's just one little mine that was there. So, um, yeah. Florida in the house. Hello, Frank. How's the Yankee Boy coming along? And where's Sharon? Oh, Sharon's making me a coffee, so she's around here. We haven't been up at the Yankee Boy for a little while because we ran into some really hard rock up there, so we need to get the compressor going and some air. So we went into some other mines and we got. We're just kind of waiting for a carburetor for the compressor. And then the other thing that was kind of cool is we got a bunch of airline out of a mine. It's really kind of neat how that all works. So there's the airline's like 2-inch airline, and they have a special tool that puts a groove on the end of the pipe, and then there's two couplings that join it together. So we got a whole bunch of this stuff, and we know how it works, and so we're going to put our airlines in there. We got a compressor in there, and then we can chip out all the heavy calcite stuff out of there, and probably put our mucker in there. That's the idea. So yeah. Um, Flying rocks of the playa, huh? What about here in Arizona? I don't know. We'll be going through Arizona because we're probably going to go hang out with Gly for a little while. And he's still in the same place that he was 2 years ago. So he's just kind of going back into the little mines that we went into, and me and him were there. But he's just, yeah. So we'll probably stop in to see him. I don't know if there's really that much we can really explore with him because we explored everything around there, and I don't want to go back in the mines we've already been in. So, but we'll go there and kind of do that. You ever thought of looking for the M cave? Well, I don't know. That's just another, I don't know, publicity thing or whatever. I don't know. That, the guy that supposedly killed himself. They're looking for his body and all that. I don't know. It's just kind of a lot of hype about nothing. Actually, I think I'm more interested in the history and stuff of some of these cool mines, rather than that sort of thing. Talk Tom and Julie, I haven't heard of them. But there's lots of people that explore mines, right? So um, hope you can find some knee deep water so you can feel at home. Yeah, the water's not really that bad. Some of the mines, like around Randsburg, we were down there. We filmed quite a bit of stuff around that area, up at 395, up and through the on the other side of Death Valley. And there was a lot of mines there, and they're really cool. Even just right on the highway when we went down, well, we had rope down, and there wasn't really anyone that been in there. It was just all full of artifacts and all that kind of stuff. So there seems to be lots of Victolic fittings. That's what they're called. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really cool, actually. So there's lots of cool mines there that a lot of people haven't been into. So we'd like to get back into there and check out more of that. As you see it if you look on Google Earth or something, you can see piles and piles of mines in that area around Randsburg. So that's kind of cool. Any new updates on your mine? Yeah. So we mentioned this, but you have more people that are coming online here. So we've run into some really hard calcite, so we got to chip and drill that. So there's lots of snow up there. So we got about 1.5 feet of snow up there, and we need to get our compressor going and put all the fittings and the air lines and everything in there. So yeah, we're gonna take off for a couple months and go explore some mines where it's warm down in Death Valley, and then we'll come back and we'll hit the mine again. So yeah. We were actually waiting for we were waiting for a carburetor, which I was supposed to get on Monday. So, all right. So, where's your mad mate? You'll see her in a few minutes. So she got this. I gave her this real cool coffee machine. It's like I don't know, espresso, cappuccino, and all that. It's like a big fancy thing that steams coffee and all that. So she loves playing with that. So she's gonna make me a coffee. It's a big ordeal, but it's worth it. It's really good coffee. So she just had surgery on her. She had carpal tunnel, so she had surgery on her wrist, but it's kind of healed up now and then. But she also had problems with her knees, so she had a whole bunch of work done on it. So she's kind of recuperating, but she's walking around pretty good. But she's not really, not 100% yet, but she's pretty tough, so she's coming back pretty quick. You ever run into any old Spanish mines in the Southwest U.S.? Not that I know of, but we're in Mexico. There was lots of Spanish. Zacatecas is one of the coolest places. Mexico obviously had lots of Spanish mines because about 500 years ago, the Spanish came to Mexico and they enslaved the Mexicans, made them work in their silver mines, and all the silver went back to Spain. So yeah, really cool history of the Spanish and the Mexicans and stuff in Mexico in the mines there. So. I never was interested in mines until I found you. Way to explore. I'm down here with you. Oh well, lots of people have said that same thing, so that's kind of cool. So that makes it maybe kind of worthwhile. People, are thinking about stuff and that they hadn't thought about, and seeing some cool stuff there. So, please say why you're not headed to Cerro Gordo. I don't know. There's been like dozens and dozens of people there. There's not really that much to see there. There's the one mine there, and and also there's a big kind of anti-mining thing that I'm not really want to be a part of. So I guess not really that much of interest to me to go in there. Um, you got good shit. I missed a lot. Best wishes for sharing. Have a good one. Thanks. Oh, here comes the barista with my coffee. Say hi. So yeah, look at this. Look at this deluxe coffee here, sweetheart. Let's see. Well, look at exploring about a mine cup too, right? So that's kind of cool. Yeah. What is a stope? Well, it's actually about the same thing as a mine is, which is just a hole in the ground. So the stope is just what's left, the hole that's left after they take the minerals out of an area, a pocket of minerals. I'd like to sometime go to the Black Hills of South Dakota and explore some of the mines there. They're one of the deepest in North America. So that bring double masks. Well, we both got 3 shots, so but yeah, we got masks. I don't think we really need it, but we got a bunch of masks. We need them more for the dust in the mines. We're not really that worried about the COVID, but do you ever get scared down there? Has everything ever collapsed on or near you? Nothing. Never really been injured or anything like that. So nothing really that serious. When you're heading down a shaft and stuff, and you always kind of get little butterflies in your stomach as you look down there. You think I'm really going down there. And I got whacked really hard with a rock one time. I don't know if it was really scary, but yeah, they put a big bruise in there. So Um, yeah, there's no open pit going anywhere near Cerro Gordo. That's just all made up. I mean, there's a little junior mining company that's tiny little company that's doing a little bit of exploration, the same as they have for, I know he made a big video and said, oh, there was a cyanide leaching an open pit mine. It's just a lot of malarkey. So, but I don't really want to talk about that. He can say whatever he likes. Um, do you think you've inspired a mine explorer community in Canada like we have in the US? I feel most of my Canadian mines you explore have been fairly untouched. Well, there's a lot less people here, and the lot of mines we went in the states. Any mine in more populated areas where, especially where there's a lot of snowbirds and stuff that can go hike around the desert or take a side by side in there. There's been probably hundreds of people every year into those mines where you can just walk into them. But the tougher ones, the shafts where you need rope and a lot tougher to get into, then there isn't that many people into them. So there's kind of a, what normal people would go into. Lots of people that go with the flashlight and check out some mines, but when you need ropes and stuff to go down, this is where they see the more interesting stuff. So yeah. Um, save some artifacts for the rest of us to see. Haven't got down to the southwest. Like, really, we spent 5 months down the States, so I don't think we took any artifacts back. Really. First of all, there's not that much to see, and the stuff that what we basically is, we don't take everything out of the mines. I mean, we kind of have one of everything. So, but most of the stuff is there's all, like I say, it was all abandoned. So, how do you get permission to go into the mines? Well, mostly you don't need permission to go into mines because if someone owns a mine, all that means is they have the rights to the minerals on a piece of ground. So usually most mines are on public lands in Canada and the States too, on BLM land in the States or on Crown land here. In the case when they're not, which is about 95% of the mines would be in the backcountry that people don't own the surface rights. If someone owns the surface rights, then you need permission to go to the mines. So, but virtually nobody will give you permission to go into a mine, especially if a mining company has them. That the reason being is for liability. So, if they put a fence on there and say no trespassing, danger, keep out, and you hop over the fence and go in there anyhow, if you fall down an ore shaft, you really, you don't really have any recourse to sue them. You can't say, oh, I didn't know that it was a dangerous mine. And they said, well, what about all the fences you hopped over and the signs and all that? We told you to stay out of there. It was dangerous. So that's why they put that up there. So for them to say, yeah, go ahead, go in our mines, then they're giving you a permission. So then they're kind of responsible. I guess, or it could be held responsible. I mean, I've offered to sign waivers and say, well, you've told me, about the dangers, and we have done that in Antioch, which is a private, it's a private mine, and some miners have contacted us that have mines that haven't been to the bottom of it because they can't get to them, and they've invited us to come to go in there. So, I mean, we would never, sue anyone for being injured and going to a mine or anything like that. And it's kind of a phony thing anyhow, because in British Columbia, we cannot find even one case of anyone being injured or killed exploring abandoned mines. And we got a lot of mines in BC, so it's pretty rare that anyone gets injured or killed in exploring abandoned mine. Lots of people get killed in mines, but it's completely different to be underground and have equipment and explosives and rocks and all that stuff going on. It's a pretty dangerous place. But an abandoned mine, so long as you have lots of lights and have oxygen monitors and the air is good and you don't touch anything, it's very unlikely that a big rock's going to fall on your head just because you're walking under it, but it could happen. But yeah, 76 today in Downey, California. Yeah, well, that's what's a good time to go to Death Valley because it's pretty warm there this time of year, and in the middle of summer it's pretty hot there, so it's a good time of year to go down there. Um, all right. How about Black Hills, South Dakota? I've never been to South Dakota, so the problem that we kind of have is in the summertime, we're busy here. There's all kinds of mines close by here, So the reason why we're traveling further away is because it's all covered in snow. So same thing. We're not going to go anywhere where there's 3 feet of snow, or we got hundreds of mines we can explore around here that are covered in 3 feet of snow. So we're going there for that reason. So they're accessible this time of year. Check out the Queen of Sheba mine. Unusual part of this mine is all the adits and shafts are open. I'm headed there on the 24th. Yeah, it's interesting. The state's got pretty good. If you look on the geological service or something like that, we got some links and stuff, and they're pretty good documentation of the mines. How do you not get lost? Well, simply, most mines are kind of like a bit of a like this, like it's kind of a tree. So you just go up. See, okay, so you just go up into the adit, and then there's a branch, so you go to that way. You just do the right hand rule. So then you go all the way to the end. You get then you come in, and you go to the right again. Then you end up going there. So eventually, you go through each branch and get back out and not miss anything. So that's the simplest way that we use for navigation. If you start going up and down and different things, it gets more complicated. Or if it goes around in corners, it gets difficult. Sometimes we have to bring some ribbon in or some paint or something. Not usually, but sometimes. Well, Elizabeth, there's a video I saw on YouTube where they found an animal after a rock fell on it more than any other video. Actually, it's probably not true because we were in Mexico. We found a whole bunch of animals in the bottom of mines, but the reason is people just throw them down there because they don't want to be, if a dog dies or gets run over on the road, they just throw them in the bottom of mines. So it's not likely that they would have just, why would an animal fall in a mine? It's like, an animal walking along top of a cliff or something. He doesn't usually fall off top of a cliff either. So, it could happen, but not likely. Yeah, Claire says, I've been off the mines lately. I'm not sure what kind of coffee it is. It's espresso with some, I think it's like a espresso with some mocha and some other stuff. Would you buy a mine in Death Valley? No. Well, Death Valley is a park, so I don't even know if there's that many accessible mines there. So, uh, any plans of ever going overseas to check out mines? No, it's just too expensive. You just couldn't afford it. Like even go down the states, and you go down there in lots of places where you got to, if you got to pay to, the fuel, and it just costs a lot of money to travel around and go to mines. And lots of places where it's 40, $50 or something even to spend a night in if you got your own camper. So it costs a lot of money to travel around and do that. So overseas, I mean, you have to pay for hotels and rent a car and all that. Yeah, it's just too expensive. It's easier just to get easier and cheaper to go to mines that are closer. And then also, even in Mexico, it's a problem with the language. If people don't speak English, it's hard to get information. And then if you have trouble with the laws or something like that, it's difficult, eh? Oh yeah, it was visibly crushed by a rock. Well, you don't know if they fell down in a rock. Someone threw a rock down there afterwards. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, my dude, you're my hero. Max fell down a hole, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah. But what happened is that's the trouble. The dogs had this was an overpass going down, and it was dark, so he went across the rotten board, and then the rotten board fell down. So yeah. But it wasn't a shaft from the outside. It was an internal shaft inside of a mine. I think he's got the mine he wants. Yeah, I do. Rattlesnake stories. I only ever saw one rattlesnake in a mine. That's when I was at the Gly there. We saw one. Could you pull the locomotives out of the Danko if you want to do that? We did want to do that. We're actually we tried to get to do it for a TV show, but we couldn't get permission from the landowner that owns the land adjacent to it because they're trying to get a reclamation certificate so they can sell that land. So they wouldn't let us fix the road up to get in there to do that. Do you ever think about returning to the mascot? Yeah, we could. We could go to the mascot. I don't know. I don't think there's much that we haven't seen in the mascot. So I don't know. Baby Jessica. Well, that's a well, right? It's not a mine, right? So, I'd love to see another Mexico trip. They're exceptionally cool videos. Yeah, we saw some pretty cool, but no, not much for artifacts. I mean, we spent all winter in Mexico. The only thing we saw was I think a frying pan. So there's nothing really left. How many sources of light would you typically bring on a solar exploration? We normally have a big handheld light, probably two on our helmet, and a spare one, and spare batteries, and then plus the camera's got a light on, so probably at least six sources of light. Um, but the reason is because you need a lot of light to film stuff, eh? So if you don't have enough light, it's just blurry and stuff. So you need a lot more light than you would um, if you're just in there exploring the mine. Just outside of DV, I don't know what DV is. So uh, Gly knows where every mine is there. Yeah, he's got the same app on his phone and stuff. So he actually showed me a lot of those mines in there. Um, Snake-proof boots. Mascot is in Headley, yeah. So the Danko is only about I don't know, another 20 minutes up the road from that one. Have you done the French by Headley? Yeah, we've been in the French. There's nothing. Yeah, we've done the French mines. No, not really any big deal. Um, you know what, the language barrier in Mexico? No, it's cool, and we don't have no problems with the police or bribes or anything like that. But did get along without being able to speak any Spanish. But it's just more difficult. That's all. Would you recommend for an air quality monitor? I don't know. I used to have a disposable one that you had to buy every 2 years. It worked pretty good, but it was just for oxygen. And then the one I got now is just bought one on Amazon online. Yep, it's a Chinese one. I know. My buddy Doug bought the same one and it didn't work. He had problems with it, but I haven't had problems with mine, so I don't know. Antelope Valley Fires saying hi. We just did a mine rescue. Well, yeah, in Canada, they're not allowed to go into mines. There's never been anyone hurt or injured in a mine. So in Canada, in British Columbia that I know of. So they've never done any mine rescues. But search and rescue in Canada is not allowed to go into mines. They say I was volunteered with search and rescue, so they're not allowed to do that. I know that for a fact. And they said if they ever did have a call in a mine, they would have to get a mine rescue team, which there's very few of them around. So, how's the old Dodge truck doing? We sold it last year, the old Dodge, the 2005 Dodge, and we bought a brand new 2021 5500 with a flat deck on it to pull this other trailer, and then we got a bigger side by side that we have on it. So, French line is about 5 miles from Mascot and Headley. Yeah, you go up the same road as if you're going up to the Mascot, and it's off of there. Yeah. Oh, the mine you suggested does not connect to the French mine. No, no, the French mine's by itself. It's not that big of a mine either, the French mine. Good evening, Frank. Love to get back to Death Valley. Gly has 10 cameras and 20 lights. Yeah. DV, Death Valley. Yeah, no, I don't remember what the question was. Love your show, Frank. You've been in any mines in VA, USA? I would know what VA is. So Virginia, I don't know. No, I haven't. Are you mapping these mines? No, I don't map any mines. Um, we've tried some. This is so difficult. And uh, the schnozzulator, I don't know. I think well, I never really agreed with the way they done that. I think it would have been just better off with just an A-frame and have it on a winch and go down. But I don't know. They built that. So 2005 12 valve. I don't know. I think it was the 24 valve. Yeah, it was a 24 valve. I bought the 2005 brand new, just about 50 grand, I think, with taxes. And then I put 300,000 clicks on it, 200,000 miles, and I got 10 grand out of it. So that was a pretty good deal. The only bad thing about the 3500 is I had to do the front end, I think, about three times on it. So the front end's kind of weak. So we're hoping that this 5500 got better. It seems to be a lot heavier front end. So hopefully I'll have better luck with that. It's the only thing I didn't like about it. Okay, I got sick from a coal mine. Well, I would never go into coal mine. So, um, I really want to see Frank's museum monument set up. Love the idea of building square set in there. Yeah. So we think probably by spring, we're hoping we be able to get some people in there. It's not going to be finished for quite a few years, completely finished, because we're going to put a working tram and everything in it. But we're going to have most of our stuff in there, our equipment, the muckers and the air and everything in there. And we've got a whole bunch of timbering and stuff in there. And then we need to get further back up. So just curious, do you bring toilet paper along in case of barking spiders turn into screaming spiders? Yeah, usually Sharon brings some. Happens. Are there any dry mines in BC? Yeah, there is. Are you meeting up with Jeff on this trip? We talked about it, and it's a good thing you remind me because I got him another email. So we're gonna try to. He's based out of Las Vegas, so and he's a pretty busy guy too. So hopefully we can. Uh, I really have a lot of respect for Jeff. He's very knowledgeable. He's pretty dramatic, but I don't hold that against him. Yeah, we're in the entertainment business after all, but the guy is a pretty smart guy and he knows his stuff. So yeah, so we're gonna try to meet up with him. Yeah, dry mines and BC can't be used. No, there's dry mines in BC. If the areas that gets more snow or more precipitation, you're more likely to have issues with water. Well, there's quite a lot of water running out of the Yankee Boy, so we're gonna have to have a pipe to get it all out. But yeah. What did you do prior to jumping in holes? I was a rancher. I did a whole bunch of other stuff. We trucked an oil patch and run equipment and had sawmills but yeah. Have you ever experienced something you can't explain in a mine? No, I'm not a ghost kind of a person. I want to learn how to do square size. Not that difficult. They had a little jig for it, actually. Are you going to meet up with Wonder Hussy? I don't think so. That's Gly's new girlfriend. He's no, not really. But he was actually in a mine, and he came out of the mine, and her card was on his Jeep. They happened to be filming something in that area. What's the largest mine you've been in? Probably either. Oh, that's the Monster Mega Mine. Probably the largest one, about 97 miles of tunnels, and it goes down 1,600 feet. And we haven't even seen that whole thing. So yeah, that's probably the biggest one. Besides bats and ringtails, seen any wild animals in a mine? Well, I see rats all the time, and saw a porcupine in a mine one time, and that's about it, I guess. Bats, rats, cats. Yeah. You guys are smart guys, entertaining. That's why we no connection to watch it on the internet. Well, thank you. What's the scariest animal you found alive in a mine? Yeah, I don't know. Haven't really found any scary ones. Are you going to Rhyolite Ghost Town? Rhyolite? I wouldn't mind seeing it. But it's not on our. Yeah, maybe. We're just gonna. We don't know what we're doing. We're just gonna kind of cruising around, I guess, and probably if you guys are in that area and you got some stuff you want to do together, send us an email, and maybe we can make that happen. We've got a bunch of people we could potentially hook up with, but sometimes a lot of these things seem to kind of peter out. Would love to see a collab with Wonder Hussy. I don't know. I don't think I can handle more than one woman in mind. You're right. French Mine and Mascot are in Headley. Yeah, they're on the same, kind of on the same road. So yeah. Hi Frank from New River, Arizona. Hi Mark. Most challenging mine that you've been into, that'd be the Monster Mega Mine. Is definitely the most challenging one for sure. I wonder how she lives in Death Valley. I thought she was actually out of Vegas, but yeah. Frank, you're looking good. Yeah, sure. Just give me a haircut. So I had to cut my hair before I go down. It's getting to be less and less to cut, but whatever. There's a mine near the French mine. People are asking if they connect. They do not. No, there isn't anything that connects to it. What's Sharon's favorite? Sharon, what's your favorite name for a mine rat? she'll think of something. Death and Dead, I think that's her two favorite. Do you have backup waiting in case of problems? People know where you are. No, not really. You just kind of have to look after yourself. There's no one there that's going to be able to help you in time anyhow. By the time the search and rescue comes or something, if you're injured in the mind, you would be dead. I think probably. Um, right. Uh, what's the scariest situation you've ever experienced while exploring? Um, I don't know. I really can't think of anything that was really stands out. I mean, you run into some situations, but you just kind of try to keep a cool head and you work your way through them. Um, I fell through a false floor one time, but I knew the false floor was kind of sketchy, and it was only about, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet below that into the mud. So I came down into the mud. So, but it was calculated risk. It wasn't a really big surprise. Oh yeah, she and her sister moved up Death Valley. Yeah, I'm not really. I've seen a couple of her videos, but I'm not a. I don't actually watch that much YouTube. I'm not really that much of a computer guy. So, random guys. The nickel plate is hooked to the mascot, and all those. If you watched a bunch of our stuff in the mascot where we went down those declines and stuff, that's actually all the nickel plate. All right. Don't let Sharon get in your beard. Yeah, I have to fight her off every time. She gets pretty happy with them scissors there. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you guys are more up on the comings and going. I wonder hussy, but uh, do you ever find radiation in the mines? Well, if you do, I mean, you're only in there for a short period of time, so it's probably not too much of a problem. Um, what's your opinion of Brent and Sortagordo? Well, he's doing very successful in his channel, and he's got lots of fans, so good for him. It's better not to spend too much time watching YouTube. Let me. What's the longest you've been lost in a mine? I don't know. Well, if I give you the answer, everyone else will say I was a liar. So, probably not more than a couple hours. Uh, well, not really a loss. It's just you can't find your way out, right? It's one. You're on a level and you're just kind of going the wrong way and you kind of go in circles. But eventually you're gonna get out. What do we? Sudbury, Ontario. There's a lot of nickel mines there. Um, didn't you pull the Levi's out? Yeah, we uh we did that. Levi's and some bunch of other jeans and stuff. Okay, Red Mountain will drop you a line tonight. My wife and love your videos. We're big fans of Sharon. Thanks. I'm a big fan of hers too. Um, do you ever get down the Morningside, Frank? We went up the Dixon, but the Morningside looked too hairy. The Morningside's that decline. Yeah, we went right all the way to the bottom of it, and then it's just plugged at the bottom. And I've been to the bottom of it on the outside too. So yeah. Wonder how he hates mines. Well, I don't know. Why would I watch your channel? Hey Frank, I want some snow. I have lots, and it's coming down again. No, that's why we're going to Death Valley. There's not too much snow there. And try not to release any toxic water when you break those mineral buildups. Well, I don't know. It's not really toxic water. I mean, they call it. What do they call it? But what really it's just low pH stuff that kills off the organisms. It's not good for fish. It's not really toxic necessarily. Rats chewing through your ropes. People have I've actually talked to people that had problems with that. So I remember I was up in a mine. There was a bunch of rats, and I was there by myself, and I tied the thing up, and I was scared. So I had a whole bunch of snacks and a whole bunch of paper and stuff in my pack. So I just scattered around there for bait. So I figured I'd be so busy, cleaning up all this stuff and chewing it and all that, then they maybe wouldn't get around to my rope, which I needed to get out. But they never touched anything. So married couples do things together and love each other. Good examples to others. Yeah, they are. Even they don't have to be married. Can you get lead poisoning from the dust in a mine? I suppose theoretically you could. It's more of it's kind of bad. Well, first of all, the one thing about lead is it's not water soluble, so it's not going to be in the water. Like it's not dissolved by water. But if you got lead, if you got it's kind of a it's worse for kids. For kids that are exposed to lead from paint or dust or whatever, it can interfere with development of your brain, which is my problem, I guess. No, no, I don't know. So is the Canadian border closed? No, they actually opened it up. So there's a bit of a catch though. To get back into Canada, you have to have a negative PCR test or something. So when you're in the States, it costs you about 3, 4, 500 bucks to get a test for COVID before you can come back up. So, but we're planning on being down there for a couple of months. So we hope that'll be done and over with, because by that time everyone should have had COVID. So it seems like the restrictions are, that COVID, there's like more and more of it, but it's not really that serious. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that they're gonna relax that a little bit. When are you going to Death Valley? We're gonna be heading down there this week, so should be there by I don't the weekend or something like that. Are you ever gonna lay track in the Yankee Boy? If so, you're gonna build a trestle and put a locomotive carts in there. Yeah, we are going to put track in the Yankee Boy, because we're gonna put air in there, and then we can get our mucker in there, our 12B mucker in there, and we'll have air in there, so we can muck stuff out and have our carts and all that kind of stuff in there. I'm avoiding your question. What's your question? Send the snow to Swansea, Wales, please. You gotta be careful what you wish for. Chicken here with the rest of us Canadian Canucks. Have a safe trip. Thanks, Linda. We will, I hope. Joe, I believe, yes, that's why he's coming to the US. Hello, Franklin. Please come. Any mine cat mummies you came across? Yeah, we did actually. Saw quite a few dead ones. Lead dissolves in hard water. Not as far as I know. It's not lead poison you need to worry about. It's bad air. Yeah, sometimes barking spiders, they've been known to emit some foul. Hello, David. Evening, David. Okay, looking forward to. Hi, Sharon. Getting a pet rat to help her with the fear. No, I don't think we don't want any of them stinky, nasty critters around. It was actually funny. One of the ladies that when we're setting monitors for bats and whatnot, they actually trapped some rats underground, and she had a leather glove on, and she decided, well, she was going to let it out of this trap, so she reached in there, and it bit right through the leather glove. So she dropped the rat real quick. So yeah, they got a pretty good bite. Can you mine for Bitcoin in a real mine? I have no idea how that works. It's another one of those things. Are you still doing weekly shows while you're on vacation? Yeah, we will. So we just got Sharon's got a data plan, and then I'll bring my laptop down there, and then you just do the Wi-Fi thing there, whatever, and you can upload shows. We did that before, so it's not a problem. Yeah, we will. So we got 2 more shows of the Danko coming up this Friday and next Friday, and then probably after that you'll see some stuff of down California, probably Death Valley, I guess, or wherever we get to for sure. We're not really sure. We're going to go down to Reno and then kind of decide which way we're going to go from there. But that's when did you first get into mining exploring? Well, it's gonna be when I was about 25, I explored a mine, but I don't know if that's really mine exploring. But about 7 years ago, when I had my airplane, I was flying over Phoenix, and then you can see it was like Swiss cheese over top of there, all these big holes. And then got excited about that and started to explore mines in earnest, and started the YouTube channel just after that. And I guess that's when I got started. Get a Starlight connection. I don't. They got all kinds of other stuff in the States. They got really crappy internet everywhere we've been. We got really good internet here. We've got like fiber optic networks and stuff in here, but we had a difficult time with the internet there. But sometimes it takes all night to download a video that we can download here in Canada in 20 minutes. Like even in big cities, I don't know why they got such crappy internet there. Frank, you roped down the main Morningside decline. You said we found a man way left inside the mascot. Yeah, we did. Jeff Williams is funny and annoying at times. Yeah, that's true. Um, Hi, Frank from Australia. We're catching up with Gly in Death Valley. He's not in Death Valley. He's in Arizona. So, but we're probably going to swing through there and go see him. Coal mines? No, we don't normally go into coal mines. We did go into one, but it was kind of open as a museum, and we went back in there with the mine inspector. But other than that, we've never been in a coal mine. We've been meeting up with Gly. Yeah, we will. We will. We'll go and have a little visit with him. I don't know. I'm not sure if we got stuff we can record with him. He's kind of in the same spot he was a couple of years ago when I was down there. So I'm not sure if he really has anything new that we could explore. Um, I think his buddy Randy was coming down there. I was just talking to him a couple of days ago. His buddy Randy was down there and he was going to give him a hand with something. So I don't know. He's going into a mine that we were in. And he just went back into it. So just doing a better job at up at that sheep tank mine. So he's doing a better job of recording it. But we've already been there. So I usually don't go back into mines that I've already been into. So once I've seen everything, I want to find something else. Uh, I find that more interesting. If you go to California, you should go to the Sunbird. Yeah, never heard of it. I mean, there's just when people just put a name of a mine, there's like thousands of mines everywhere. So I would have no idea where that would be. 65 and sunny with calm winds in Atolia in the Rand district. So that's one of our favorite areas. So we're definitely going to be going there. Come to Colorado. There's plenty of mines for you. There's a lot of snow too, from what I hear. Just out there looking at the picture of the desert. Yeah, it's difficult. We have a difficult time getting online and getting that camera working sometimes. And I don't know if it's why that is. It's difficult, but it works now. So you won't see glides in Arizona. Yeah, we're going to Arizona, so it's not very far away. It's all in the same kind of area. You're thinking about getting an underwater drone for a flooded area. Somebody suggested that, and we kind of looked into it. And first of all, drones are tethered, and the ones that I saw, they got it stuck on some timbers and stuff like that. I mean, I bet you I wouldn't have that drone in the water twice before it got stuck underwater, and then you're out $1,000 for that. So I kind of doubt that. So. Frank's, how's the new property? Good. We haven't been up there for a little while. We were working on getting this compressor done because we're kind of stuck without the compressor, and we're waiting for a carburetor to get that 235 Chevy engine running. And we're gonna. There's lots of snow up there, and so we're gonna hit that when we get back in a couple of months. We'll go back to work on it. What about Sudbury Mines or Ontario or Timmins? No, we would never go there. It's thousands of miles from here, and it's most of those mines are all flooded because it's in the Shield, and just way more interesting and closer mines to here. Michigan, the same thing. I mean, there's like 3,000 or 4,000 miles away. I mean, there's probably 500,000 mines between here and there. Be a lot easier for this to get to. There's more mines than we would ever be able to explore in a lifetime within 1,000 miles of here. So I'm not going to go 4,000 or 5,000 miles. It's not like a cow where the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. I think the coolest mines are in the western United States or in the West anyhow, or but Canada and the States anyhow. All right, lots of mines over in the border of Montana, some wet, some dry. Yeah, um, yeah. There's all kinds in Washington, that we can get into. So yeah, a couple of lads that just started using underwater drone. Yeah, we saw that video. Well, we're really all that impressed with the footage. It was mostly, the thing is that those underwater drones, they kind of churn up the water. There wasn't that much to see. I don't know. It's not something that really excites me that much. There's lots of places you can. I think the drone to go down a shaft to go straight down is pretty dangerous for the drone. I think you're just going to end up spending a lot of money on drones. Um, is Death Valley near Cerro Gordo? Yeah, Cerro Gordo's on the border of it. It's on the west border of it. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff in that whole area. Um, but Cerro Gordo's, I don't know. There's It's not really a ghost town. I mean, I know he says he's the only person up there, but it's not true. It's a big bread and breakfast, and it's a very busy place. And there's really only one really good mine there that it's been every corner that's been explored. Um, David, I've seen that as well. It was something similar to Frank going to get snagged. Well, it did get snagged. The problem is they got it out of there, but the problem is once your battery dies, then you're dead. So I don't know. It yeah, I don't. I'm not going to get one. So, are you ever going to do a cooking show? You don't want to eat my cooking, believe me. Do you ever find a placer mine? No, I'm not involved in mining. I'm just interested in history and kind of documenting old mines and stuff. And have no illusions of ever making any money on gold. Um, we we do have it. We're going to show you a handful of gold in a mine, not this week, but the week after. But we'll just kind of put that out as a little teaser there. Come to Frankfurt, Michigan. No, it's too far away. I can't imagine ever going to Michigan. So it's on the other coast. Um, so Ron says he's doing some research on the Carameus. He's in that area, and he was in there at the Danco, so knows that area pretty well. Give Frank a thumbs up, folks. Thanks. Ever been to Pincher, Oklahoma? Nope. Heard. Never been in Oklahoma. Um, Frank, did you see if your mine was on the list of new leases up for grabs? I was mentioning the other day. We did actually a search to see who owns the mineral rights on it, and there was a guy that died, and it was supposed to have been being transferred over to somebody else or whatever. But we're not interested in getting the mineral rights to it because um, you can't you can't do anything without having to deal with the government and it just goes on and on. You have to get permits and all that. If you got a hole in the ground in your backyard, you can do whatever you want with it. As soon as you start taking minerals out of the ground, the government gets involved, and it's going to be a pain. We're not going to Cerro Gordo now. All right, Michigan is mid country. Oh, okay. Well, there you shows you how ignorant I am, I guess. Yeah, it's still a long ways from here. Jeff Williams Aquachigger video. I haven't seen that. But I don't spend a lot of time online, so hope you find a vial full of gold or a nice big bar one day. Yeah, not likely. In hard rock mines, most of the gold is microscopic, right? So, and then it has to go through. Even if I did find some really good ore that had gold in it, it would have to go to a mill to crush it all up, and then would have to go to a smelter. So, there's no mills left in this country, and there's no smelters either. So, even if you did find some good gold, there's nothing really you could do with it. I've got a box full of gold, about 50 pounds of good gold bearing ore, but I can't do nothing with it. So we did try crushing a little bit out, pan it, couldn't find any gold in it, but that's not surprising. It's not free gold. Pincher, Oklahoma is all government, and the mines are lead mines that are filled with water or capped off. And that's the thing, probably in Michigan, you're going to see a lot of that because in the mountains, you can get up into the mines and stuff, but anywhere where it's fairly flat, and the water just goes down to the lowest part, and it's got nowhere to drain out. So back in the day when they mined that stuff, they pumped all the water out of them, and as soon as they start pumping, they just flooded, right? Frank, if I get a chance next couple of years, I'll be at your property when all the COVID goes away. Love your show. Thank you, Kyle. You should go in the Corona mine. It's in Death Valley. Yeah, like I say, we haven't heard of it, but we'll see. Jeff is a very excited guy. Yeah. More likely to find a old pair of Levi's. Yeah, it does happen, I guess, eh? Yeah, you sent Wonder Hussey an email, told her you're coming to Death Valley. So I've never talked to her, and she never commented on our stuff or anything. So but I don't think she's aware of what we're doing. So, and I just know of her because of Goliath. How can folks help you out with your mine restoration? Well, I mean, if they, I don't know. I mean, if they feel like, coming out and putting around the mine in the summertime, we're probably going to have some sites. If you got an RV or something and you want to come and camp out or something, you can come up there and put it around there if you want or something. We've had people donate some cash and some equipment. We got like lots of people that, the grandpa or whatever had a bunch of mining stuff and he died and they ended up with it and they don't know what to do with it. So it shows up here because the kids are just going to throw it in the dump. So, yeah. Are you going to Ballarat? I don't think so. We were going to Ballarat at one time, but I don't know. You got into people have different I don't know agendas or ideas or whatever. So they were very opposed to me taking anything out of a mine and the museum thing and stuff. So I didn't feel I was very welcome there. So I wouldn't be going there. So it's not a good move to get the mineral rights to your mine for no other reason than keep others out. No, I don't want to keep anyone out. I'd be if somebody was really serious about mining it, and I don't see how that would ever happen. I mean, there was no gold there in '37 when they abandoned it. But say if somebody had the mineral rights and they wanted, I'd be more than happy to work with them, and I'd love to do that. So I think that'd be awesome. So I'm not at all. I'm not against mining. I'm not scared of mining. I think I respect the miners' rights. I would be the best partner they could ever have as a landowner if someone actually wanted to mine that mine. So, are you familiar with the Nutty Putty mine? Those kids got it, actually not really a mine. I think it was a cave. So they went in and they got there was a guy that got pinched in a tight spot, and he was upside down. And you can't live very long upside down. It starts causing problems. The guy died in there. Um, so um, so the Central Pacific Railway. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that. I might be able to. So the quarantines for the coordinates. If you like Frank's videos, help him out with donations. Yeah, some people have been very generous to us, and we appreciate that. So, um, charge send large cash donations. um, Good night, Frank. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome. We're not really. You can crush rocks with Dan Hurd. We're not really in this for the money, so we retired from ranching and stuff, and it's something we enjoy doing. We don't. It costs us more money to produce YouTube videos than we get out of it from the advertising revenue, but we don't really care. And there's no way we're ever going to make any money on restoring this mine, but we don't care either. So that's one thing I enjoy doing. You can crush rocks with Dan Hurd. We did that actually. We crushed some rocks with Dan Hurd. He tried pan it, nothing happened, and he said he was going to do something else, and he never did. So uh, Frank doesn't want to pay for mining. I'd be very skeptical that anyone could make any money. A mom and pop operation could make any money on any kind of a mine. I think it's a fantasy. There's lots of these shows about all this gold and all that, but it's mostly a lot of malarkey. I mean, people people that mined back in the day. They worked very hard and they were pretty smart. And the whole infrastructure was here at one time where they had mills. At one time, you could, if you're a mom and pop operation, you could take a little bit of quartz ore or gold bearing ore or something and take it to a mill and get it crushed and custom crushed. And there were smelters, you could take it there. And all that's gone. First of all, the regulations, it's just almost impossible to get dynamite anymore. You can't just buy dynamite and do stuff. Even to pump the water out of a mine, you'd have about 6 months of hearings and, like the red tape and stuff to operate a mine, to do anything in a mine. And then all the infrastructure is gone. And for where I live here, there used to be 4 smelters in around 1900. There was 4 smelters within 50 miles of here. There isn't one. The last one closed. Well, there is one smelter in Trail, so one of them is still open, but it only does custom milling for a mine in Red Dog, Alaska. It doesn't do any custom milling at all. So you might as well say the smelters. It doesn't even do their own ore. They only do it for so. And back in the day when they used to do custom smelting for little operators, that's all over and done with. So there are no profitable mines in this area. There hasn't been a profitable mine in this area since the 70s when Phoenix closed for the last time. When they had their own mill, they dismantled it. So yeah. Last I know, the Nutty Putty was sealed and declared a grave. Cerro Gordo has a pretty useless hoist. Well, it's kind of funny, the hoist there isn't the hoist that they use to mine there. I don't know, they say that. Oh, absolutely not. There's no way that that's a small little tiny little hoist, and it just goes down a little ways, and it takes like 45 minutes to go from the bottom to the top. I don't even know why they'd use it. I think it's far too dangerous to use. They got a good ladder on the side. Why don't they just use ropes to go down and then go up the ladder, and then you could just be on the ropes. So you can just go up and down. It's very dangerous. Those old hoists like that one there gets stuck on the way down. So the problem is when you go down and the hoist is still laying it down, then you got a bunch of slack in the cable, and all of a sudden it comes loose and it goes down and slams that cable. And lots of people died doing that. I would not use that hoist. Maybe to take your gear up and down. I wouldn't ride up and down that hoist, but do you ever plan on going back to Mexico? No. It's just way more convenient for us. Like I wasn't able to go in the States, but now I got a waiver. I can. It's way more convenient to be in your own camper and have your side by side and all your gear and your food and be self sufficient in the desert. It's pretty difficult having a rent vehicle, expensive to travel around Mexico, and you got the language barrier and other stuff too. And you get into trouble. We're in the areas where there's cartels and stuff, and we didn't have any problem. But you are taking chances, right? And the other problem in the backcountry of Mexico that they never had that problem before, is they're starting to kidnap people. So that was always been a problem in Colombia, but it wasn't in Mexico. But it's starting to be a problem there now too. So Australia has some lucky golden nuggets found from metal detecting in mines. Yeah, it's just a different type of country, right? Do I follow Justin from TVR Exploring? No, I haven't seen any of his videos for a few years. Um, Looking forward to your mine journey. What type of wood are you using? So we have a dry fir and larch or tamarack, they call that. So yeah. So we have about 1,000 lineal feet of 8x8 that we cut and a whole bunch of other stuff. We got our own mill, so and we haven't shown that to you guys, but we have a bandsaw mill that we use to cut all that stuff. So yeah, Gold Rush. So that's they they don't talk about this much, but I'm thinking most of those people on there, and for sure Fred and them guys, they make a lot more money. It's the most popular show on Discovery. They're making a lot more money off of TV than they are from gold. Well, with exception of Parker, who is actually a real miner, and Tony. Um, so I would bet you anything that Discovery paid for that dredge, and it's just something and the only reason they ran that dredge is it was entertaining for TV. There's no dredges operating anywhere in the world; they're obsolete. So it's a cool thing to see. That's one of the things I really liked about Gold Rush, but it's not. It's not. It's kind of fake, Um, Salt mines, Wichita. I've never been in a salt mine. Canvas is closer to Michigan. I don't know. Um, you're gonna go help the fire department. The fire sounds like fun. Have fun. 8x8's a good size. Yeah, it's a pretty substantial timber, especially like the rough timbers that are 8x8. Yeah, they look pretty cool in the mine. They're pretty neat. Um, in this state, we have all sorts of public data on mines. It's similar in Canada. I'm wondering how you do research up there. There's something called MinFile. So if you think of a name of a mine and type that and MinFile in there, the government has all kinds of records. It seems like Sharon does a lot of that research and stuff because I don't spend that much time online. But I think in America they have better kind of databases on mines and stuff. And the other thing is, so we've got Montana, like a Garmin GPS, and because we're on the maps from the U.S. Geological Service, so those maps they have all the mines on it. So on the Garmin, which is pretty cool. So you just do a query for mines, and it shows you the closest mine. So that's kind of cool. So got late, Frank. Are you going to Cerro Gordo? I am not. What happened to all the 1849 mines in California? I think that was mostly placer mining. So with the placer mining, basically just mining, the gold is in the gravel and the creeks and stuff like that. So that stuff, they go through that really quick. It doesn't take very long to kind of mine that out. Then there's nothing much left, and then they kind of move on to the next one. Pan the gold from the rivers, yeah. Hard rock mining is it's a pretty complex procedure. You know what? I don't know. People think that I don't know, especially the junior mining companies. They're always doing some testing and this and that. But I'll tell you that those old timers, they were pretty smart, and they got all the easy gold. I mean, the easy gold, like even up in Dawson City and stuff, where they're mining, placer gold up there. The stuff that they're mining there is pathetic compared to what was there. I mean, there used to be a lot of gold there. So they're just getting a little bit of stuff that was kind of missed a little bit here and there. But the reason is they're with the equipment and stuff they got these days, they can take huge volumes and run it through the wash plants, so they get enough to pay the bills, right? But if it wasn't for that, yeah, they wouldn't make any money, right? So, maps. If you don't want those maps, don't burn them. Puss Linda. Yeah, I know Ron's kind of crazy about maps. He's always sending me all these maps, but I don't really find them they're all that useful because they're usually from. Well, they're kind of cool, but you can't just take a map and kind of follow your way underground because they're from a certain period of time and you don't know where you are. Um, yeah, I'm not really that much of a map guy. And the Yankee Boy, do you mill your own wood for the rebuild? Yeah, we have a band mill. It's a Wood Miser, an H35 or something. It's pretty cool. It's all hydraulic. It's a hydraulic band mill. I've had um, I've had a number of mills when I was ranching and stuff. I had big circular mills, like a 48-inch circular saws, and we cut railway ties and stuff, which really cut the wood. The band mill's kind of pissing around a little bit, but they're good for doing these little projects and do a nice job of doing more precision stuff, and gives you a lot of flexibility to do stuff. Do you know of any mines in the terrace area? Yeah, there was one that Kevin went, the red something mine or whatever. There's one up there. There's some the red rose, I think, and some other ones up there. A few mines up there. Bit of a gong show. Are you going to Death Valley, or did you clickbait me? No, I didn't know. We're planning on going to Death Valley. Yeah, that's the clickbait. I wouldn't do that, would I? I got all the mines in my Google Earth, so it's just possible in BC. Do you park your camper van anywhere you want to go exploring? Do you have certain places only allowed to park it? Well, on BLM land, you can kind of park in most places everywhere, but the thing is, you can only stay for 14 days. It's not a problem, but the thing is, you can't get water and stuff. So, generally speaking, we would camp somewhere, travel around about every 3 or 4 days or something. You stay in a campground where you can get water and use the laundromat and stuff like that. So, yeah, and then we were kind of using the internet some places, Yeah, so kind of a combination of boondocking and doing some camping too. So. Would you ever, if you found remains of a human, would you inform the cops about it? Oh, certainly, definitely would. Not very likely to happen unless somebody killed somebody and threw them into a shaft. That'd be the most likely scenario. If there was a miner if there was a kind of an accident in the mine, people have always had a lot of respect for human life, and if there's an accident, people do whatever they can to recover those remains. So it's not likely that you would find remains in a mine unless somebody happened to throw somebody in there, right? Your girlfriend is a gold mine. She is. Do you hear that, Sharon? Someone said your girlfriend is a gold mine. Are there lots of rats in the Yankee Boy? There's a lot less. There was some, but we've eliminated all the ones we've been able to find. They don't seem to do well on that poison. Love the show. Yeah. So, thank for all the years exploring mines. You ever seen evidence of Bigfoot? No. Like I used to tell Kevin, I don't believe. No, let's see. I told him, I says, I don't believe in God, Bigfoot, the Easter Bunny, or Santa Claus. And he says, Kevin says, what? You don't believe in the Easter Bunny? Mike, I'll talk to you on another channel. All right. So Heath Dottie's Adventures. So Heath has been a moderator here and a supporter of the channel. Has helped us out lots. And if you guys get bored, have a look for his channel. See what he's doing there. Just rewatched Mexico. That shaft was deep. I wish you could have explored further. Yeah, logistically, that was a tough, 550 feet straight down. I don't think we would do that. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't do that again. Luckily, it turned out okay. But Gabe went down another big, long, deep shaft too down there, but it's risky. So luckily, it didn't. It turned out good. So, but the biggest risk is if a rock falls, right? We need Frank as a route from Canada to the U.S. through a mine. Well, maybe if they let El Chapo out of jail, he's in the States somewhere. He's pretty good at making routes under the border. Safe down here in the States, we have a saying here, come on vacation, leave on probation. We're trying to avoid that. Yeah, dropping that kid in was a classic. Well, he's the one that wanted to go to the bottom of that mine. So that's the only way we could really figure logistically to do that because I don't know, to climb, 600 feet up a rope. I've climbed a couple hundred feet straight up a shaft without, having to use your feet on the sides. And that's about all the energy that I had. Mind you, I had a pack with me, so that was kind of tough. Me and Gabe done some of them, but it's tough. What's the oldest mine you've been in? That would be one of the ones in Zacatecas, Mexico. So those mines are about 500 years old. They're not really that impressive because they just had to use hammers and chisels to do them, so they're not as extensive. And then back in the old days, all they had was black powder when they started using explosives, which were nowhere near as explosive as the nitroglycerin and the more modern type of explosives. Thanks, Frank. Awesome, you'd give me a call out, shout out. You mean, right? So, yes, call El Chapo. It's pretty interesting. We watched this. So when we were in Mexico exploring mines there, and we were back in I can't remember what state that was. Sinaloa, yeah, Sinaloa. And there's lots of cartels and stuff. They're seeing guys with machine guns and stuff, and the police don't even go there. But they, El Chapo used to come there all the time. These same little villages. Oh yeah, I used to come here, and the cops wouldn't chase him, wouldn't chase him into there. So it's kind of interesting. Sinaloa, yeah, Sinaloa. Yeah, it was an interesting story because we went in there and I rented this Dodge Caravan off this guy. It was a piece of shit and it broke down. So I was out there. It was getting dark in the middle of nowhere, and these guys come along, and there was a mine there, a silver mine there, and these miners come along, and he says, well, the vehicle's broke down. He says, well, we get a guy who speaks English, so he come, and then he tried to kind of fix it. He says, oh, it's getting dark, and he says, you can't stay out here. He says the cartels patrol us at night, and he says, come with us. You can stay in a compound. Not a big locked compound where this mining company was. It was, fair sized company. They had about 30 employees. And they gave me a room there. It was really nice, and drank all my beer. And we drank some tequila with them. Just a great bunch of guys. Tried to help me out getting the van going the next day. They wouldn't take any money. I give them a couple some t-shirts and stuff, and just we had no problems at all. And they were just a real cool. It was a really cool experience actually. But maybe we're just kind of lucky we didn't get into trouble. But yeah, I've had good luck. So. All right, joke. Do you know how to confuse a coal miner, show him a row of shovels, and tell him to take his pick? Huh. That's funny. Had to eat supper. Yeah, those are some good episodes. Pure Mexicana. And one of the interesting thing up to in Mexico is they had the Arastas. So I went to this one mine. I don't remember what it's called, but back in the old days, for the last 500 years, they just been mining the same way. They just go into the mines, and they with pick or whatever, and then they haul the ore off the mountain in buckets, and then they have something called an arasta, which is like a great big tub and has a bunch of rocks and stuff, and then they go around with the mules and grind the ore up, and then they use mercury, and then they take so they were still doing it the same way, man. They made maybe $1 or $2 a day each, like almost nothing, and then they're exposed to mercury. They don't know that the mercury is poisonous and toxic and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was kind of sad, real poor area of Mexico. Real nice guys, they showed us all that kind of stuff. And so we basically got to see how they mined, hundreds of years ago in Mexico, and they're still doing it some places that way too, right? So yeah, love the way you take time to answer questions. Well, this is the reason that we have the channel and stuff is people are interested in what we're doing, and so yeah, I'm more than happy to share whatever wisdom I've gained along the way. It's actually been really interesting. When I first started going into mines, you didn't know that much about it, and you'd kind of make guesses about different things. We have a lot of miners, and people are very knowledgeable about all this stuff, and they keep giving me shit and say, "Oh no, it's not this; it's called that, and it's not." So we are actually able to learn a lot from the people over the years that watch the show. But we hear from a lot of people that worked in mines and stuff that kind of really appreciate what we're doing. It kind of takes them back. So, yeah. If you ever camped inside a mine for a few days while exploring, not yet. We kind of talked about it, but most of them places aren't all that nice. You got rats and it's damp and cold. So I'd rather sleep in my trailer or in my bed if I could. Yeah, we talked about it, but I've never done it yet. So. Yeah, some people claim they found the M cave, but it doesn't look like the Kenny Beach one. I don't know. I don't know that this guy is a real selfish kind of a person or something. He want to make a big spectacle out of his suicide, which I don't think is really all that glamorous. So he killed himself and left some clues, and he wants people to go looking for him, maybe risk their lives to pick up his. I think it's kind of disgraceful, actually. I think he's a jerk. So I don't care about his body or whatever. He's got to be that selfish that he has to make a big spectacle out of himself. He's not much better off than the people that go to the post office and shoot everyone there. All right. Frank, are you familiar with using mercury to attach gold? Put the gold in a hollowed up potato and put it in the fire, which vaporizes the mercury. So that is this along the same kind of the way that back in the Rastas, they ground the gold up. So the thing is that it has to be if you see most gold in hard rock things is really small, fine gold that you can't even see. So you got to grind it up enough to release the gold from the rock, and then the mercury will attach to it. Cyanide kind of works similar to that too. But I think it actually goes right through the rock. So when they're cyanide leaching, what they do is take real low grade ore and they kind of sprinkle it in solution uh, on top of this low grade ore, and then the water runs down through the rock, attaches to the gold, and then they capture the cyanide and then release the gold from the solution. The problem with that isn't, and Brent said that in Cerro Gordo. They talked about, legally it's still possible to do cyanide leaching, but I mean, they've caused like huge environmental disasters, in this, cyanide leaching. If there's any kind of a breach in the membrane or whatever, cyanide is a very nasty substance that kills all the fish and all that kind of stuff. So, um, there's a lot of permitting and hearings and all that to get kind of a permit to operate a mine. I would say it'd be virtually impossible in California for anyone that's mining to get a permit to use cyanide leaching on a heap leach pad. I mean, it has been done in the past, but yeah, I'd be very skeptical it would ever happen again. So there's good reason why there all the regulations are and why they so yeah. Frank, you should crank out some shorts. I spend enough time on the freaking doing what I'm doing on the computer and all that. I don't want to spend any more time. I'm just kind of an old-fashioned guy. I freaking hate phones. All I ever do, I don't text on it or do nothing with it except answer the damn thing and say hello. So I'm not, yeah, I'm not really into this new technology and all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to do shorts. No thanks. I don't even I don't go do Snapchat or any of that other kind of stuff either. There's all that stuff. I don't do none of it. All right. Yeah. Like I say, I've spent enough time. I kind of, it kind of it seems like kind of a bit of a waste of time or something. You're doing all this stuff and editing these videos and all that kind of stuff. And in a way, I'd rather be just working on my mind. So we put out like a video every week, and we've been doing that for about 7 years or something. That is as much of that as I want to do. I don't want to spend more time sitting in front of my desk on the computer. All right, first time hearing Frank being pro regulations. Well, it's it's just history, So that's what it is. I mean, we've made some bad mistakes. Heap leaching in particular, back in the 80s, there was a lot of mines where they didn't do a very good job getting all the gold out of the mills. So there was a lot of companies that went in and did heap leaching on old tailings piles. But even here, the Union mine, they did that. They caused a breach in there and killed all the fish in the creek. And yeah, it's disgraceful. I mean, I'm nothing against mining or anything like that, but it's got to be done right. And Barrick Gold is up in the Mascot, and so same thing. Nobody would take their oxidized gold out of there. They set up their own mill, and they use heap leaching there to get the gold out of there, and they polluted all the groundwater there. So for the mine shut down in 2000. For the last 20 years, they've been pumping groundwater out of the ground, out of the Mascot, treating it in ponds with bacteria and stuff, and then releasing it back in there. So for 20 years, they've been pumping water that's polluted with cyanide out of the groundwater, and they don't see there's no end in sight. They're going to keep doing it for the foreseeable future. So given that, I mean, and look at some of the other mines that we went to with the acid leaching and stuff up north. Um, that we can't keep doing those same mistakes. So I'm thinking we've probably gotten smarter, and the public and the government, the regulations, they're there for a good reason. I mean, even you take a gold rush and all that, and you go up there and you look at that, and some of them they're crossing through creeks and doing a whole bunch of damage to fish habitat and all that, and those guys barely make enough money to pay for the fuel and all that kind of stuff. Is it really worth it to do that much damage to the fish bearing streams and all that for a little bit of gold when they're only really making enough money to pay for their fuel in most cases? So I think it's a good question to ask. All right. Yeah, I know a little bit about Kenny Veach. I don't know, some kind of a publicity stunt that he's supposedly people think he tried to kill himself. Maybe it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's not something I'm going to get involved or sucked up into. Uh, Probably all kinds of theories about if he's alive or dead or whatever. I really don't care. Uh, Frank, watch a YouTube video from the 16 to 1 mine where the miner was escorting people. Said he found the gold they had to chop off with an axe. I don't. It wasn't my video. I've never heard of the 16 to 1 mine. The term mad as a hatter came from the use of mercury in making hats back 100 years ago. Yeah. Um, did you meet Don Danko and Nighthawk? No. I haven't. We've never been across the line there. So, yeah, we haven't been across the border there at Nighthawk. So the Danko is Don Danko. Oh, no. Um, First one should be the guy freaking out as you drop into the 500-foot shaft. Well, we're in the entertainment business, eh? So, I don't know, if he was quiet all the way down, I imagine it was pretty exciting going down there. Frank, would love you on my podcast. We've done a bunch of podcasts, so usually when people they want to interview me and do that, I kind of don't mind having people out. I do that, but we're gonna be out of the country for a couple months, so we wouldn't be able to do it till after that. Frank, have you thought about going to Alaska? So Sharon and I were up last year, or when I can't. Time flies. I can't remember. So we were up at in Stewart, and there's some really cool mines they're actually in Canada, but you have to go through Alaska, through Hyder, Alaska to get to them. So, yeah, we wanted to go up into there, and we'd love to go into Alaska, but the problem is, like again, you have to go in the summertime, and we're busy with our mine and stuff. So you can't go to Alaska in the wintertime. It's dark, and it's full of snow there. So, yeah. So we'd like to. Frank, I saw that video of you find those fantastic miners' denim jeans. Did you say how you made out on them or what their condition was? Well, so there's a guy there that owns I think he owns the mineral rights, but he's got a little ghost town. He owns that land there. So they built a ghost town or whatever there. It's for tourist things. So there's some old mines. There's some of the oldest platinum mines in Arizona. So we asked them if we had if we could go explore some of these mines because nobody had been into them since they were closed. These tougher to go mines. And he said, "Yeah, we could." So we went up there and we camped out there. And then so I told him, well, they had a museum and stuff and some old stuff. So I said, well, anything we find down there, we'll give to you. So that's what we did. We found the jeans, we give them to him, and I wasn't really that appreciative of it. I don't think he even said thanks. And he said, well, I wouldn't mind maybe having one pair, for our troubles. And he just kind of sneezed at that. So yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think that's Joe. I think that's my own business. I don't know. You worry about what you're doing, and I'll worry about what I'm doing. Uh, all right. We'll live our lives to suit ourselves, I guess. Um, what's up, man? Have you ever found a body in a mine? No, we haven't. Well, no human bodies. There's lots of. We found lots of animals in mines. Mostly, we found a lot of deer in mines, and always bucks. But it seems, I think, what happens is they get in there, and then it gets dark, and then they just get confused, and they just kind of panic and start running or whatever, and then they end up dead. And then we found a number of pretty nice rocks actually in bucks. So never found a doe that was ever dead in the mine. It's kind of interesting. Um, well, I mean, we can complain that we never got nothing out of them jeans and all that, but that's the deal we made. But we made a really cool video, and we had a lot of fun doing that. Kind of an update on that video with the jeans there. So there's a guy by the name of so we found, I don't know, 7 pairs of jeans or something in there, but there possibly could have been more there because we didn't excavate that whole area. But it's really tough getting down there and really dusty and a lot of work. And he wanted us to go further down. I said, well, the deal we made is we'd bring up what we want. If we're going to go back there, there's going to have to be some other arrangement. He wasn't interested in making another arrangement. So, well, why would we go down there and get him more jeans? So we didn't. So we talked to this guy that was an expert on denim. His name was Britt Eaton. Pretty nice guy. Actually, he did a TV show. If you Google Britt Eaton. So he went back there and he talked to him, and whatever arrangement he made with him, I don't know, at the Castle Dome. This guy probably knows more about denim than anyone alive. And he's kind of a really cool guy. He's been in lots of mines. So he roped down there and he said it was the toughest mine he has ever been into. And he dug and dug that whole thing out, cleaned it up, and didn't find any more jeans, or so he says, anyhow. So there you go. That's the story about that. Frank, you the man. Um, Sparking spiders. I wonder what that guy ended up doing with the old Levi's. I don't know. We never really talked to him, so I don't know. He had him in a tub under his bed, so I don't know. Didn't seem to think he wanted to sell them. He was thinking about putting them on display in the mine. He's kind of I don't know. It was kind of a bunch of religious guys that started a big cult there, and then a bunch of them got arrested for molesting some kids or something, and he ended up with it. He was the minister, and then they get a whole bunch of people to work there for free, and then they make a shitload of money, charging everyone $10 a head and $70 a piece to go see that. So it's just a big money grabbing machine. They get volunteers to work for nothing, take advantage of them, and they stick all the money under their mattress. So I don't know. I should quit bitching. You still flying your PPC? No, we have some bad luck with that thing. So we got it running really good and all that, and then so we got it all together, and then I was really wanting to get it flying. Like I flew them lots up north, and then so I hadn't been flying for a long time. Then I took Sharon for a ride. It was like a real hot day. We had problems. We took off out of here, and then we came back, or we got up to a high altitude, and it was starting to get pretty hot because we didn't have the radiator hooked up to it. You don't normally need it. It's usually cool enough that it cools itself off. So I was kind of had to land. I was getting the head temperature was getting too hot. So I turned around. I just wanted to land it as quick as I could because I didn't want to wreck the engine. It didn't get too hot, but so I didn't land into the wind. I kind of forgotten about that. And then a gust of wind came up. It was really hot. I had poor lift. And we ended up hitting the runway, and then the chute passed us and then flipped us over. kind of banged Sharon up a little. I felt kind of bad about it. But then we just haven't flown it since. We probably just want to get rid of it. I'm getting fed up with it. But yeah. All right. Keep it clean, people. That's all I'm asking. Well, you're the cop. You just delete it. Oh, I don't mind a little swearing, but you want to be respectful, right? Colorful language doesn't hurt, but all right. So, what's your most feared memory being in a mine, or maybe your worst injury? I haven't really been injured that much. I mean, got hit by a rock about this big on my shoulder one time. Left a big bruise there, so that was about it. So that's not bad. Yeah, there was a crosswind. Yeah, we get lots of questions about Cerro Gordo. I'm not going there. So, are you going to do a collab with any other mining channels? Yeah, so we're going to go down there and we'll stop and have a visit with Gly anyways from Abandoned Forgotten Places. I don't know if we're going to do any videos. I'm not sure if there's anything really much to record there. We've been to all the mines in the area where he's at. He's still in the same area that he was when I visited him a couple of years ago. And Jeff Williams, yeah, he had some mines that he wanted to take us to. He's a busy guy. I'm not sure that's all going to work out. We'll send him an email, and we really like to meet him. And the main reason is he's just a really knowledgeable. He really knows his stuff. So, and it'd be cool to hang out with him. This seems like a pretty entertaining fellow. So, well, guys, I really appreciate you dropping by, and stay tuned in the next little while. And we're going to be probably at beginning of February before we can get some stuff out of down in America, because we've got a couple more shows left that we've already edited, and they're coming out Friday and then the next Friday. So, so stay tuned for that, and then we'll get back and we'll show you some other stuff. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the winter. And if any of you guys are down in that area in Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, in that area, and some cool stuff we could do, or you want to meet up, we could send us an email or whatever. Maybe that could happen. So we'll be there for a couple of months. And I hope you guys have a good night. I'm probably not going to be doing any more live broadcasts till we get back. We have a tough enough time getting this to work at home. So, all right, take care. And thank you for all your questions. And we'll see you again soon.